The crucifixion of Kyrie Irving continues after he shares on his Instagram post Hebrews to Negroes, which is a movie, explaining and showing the so-called African-American man that they are the true children of Israel, the true Jews. So the NBA commissioner, Adam Silver, who is the plantation owner of the NBA, forces Kyrie Irving to apologize just for sharing the documentary of Hebrews to Negroes on his Instagram. And now he's claiming that Kyrie Irving have made anti-Semitic remarks, which is completely inaccurate and false. But before we go more into that, let's go into some history showing and proving that the NBA is nothing but a slave corporation, is nothing but a plantation. Check this out.
Here, what I'm gonna show my brothers and sisters is that the NBA have always been a plantation. This is a commentary by our beloved brother Larry Johnson, who played in the NBA for the Charlotte Hornets back in the 1990s. He goes into deep detail showing and breaking down how the NBA is ran by racist white owners. So we're gonna go into this, and I'm gonna read this for y'all to show you that this has been an ongoing battle between the Aboriginal indigenous man and woman for quite some time, and Kyrie Irving is also a product of this. But I'm also showing y'all that Adam Silver plays a major part as a plantation owner over the NBA league. All right, let's read this. It says Charles Barron will be joined by former NFL star Walter Beach of the Cleveland Browns in a presentation entitled Jump Ball. Blacks rising up to fight for power, ownership of self-determination in sports. On Thursday, May 1st, at Sisters Place located at 456 North Strand Ave at the corner of Jefferson Avenue in Brooklyn at 6:30 p.m. A special message of unity written by Black Power Olympian John Carlos will be read. So even back in this day and time, you had people who was partaking in the NFL and the NBA. They understood that the only way to overcome the discrimination and overcome the powers that be within these white slave plantation owners and these white racists who is in ownership over these sports in the league and have majority of the power is through self-determination. So they even knew this back then. But do you think that they was able to be successful in completing this mission? Let's see. It says, Black people, you are focusing on the wrong thing. We should be focusing on having our own team, own league, do for self. Nick Great, Larry Johnson. So Larry Johnson was speaking out against it as well and saying that we as Black people, we should be having our own team, our own league, do for self. Nick Great, Larry Johnson. The firestorm surrounding the racist remarks of LA Clippers owner Donald Sterling doesn't address the deeply rooted, systematic, institutional, and structural racism in the National Basketball Association. Commissioner Adam Silver banned Sterling for life, fined him $2.5 million, and is planning to force him to sell the Clippers. This does not take away from the fact that the NBA still remains a plantation for Black players who are owned by rich white males who benefit from the wealth Black players generate and can trade them at will. On August 3rd, 1949, 11 white owners of professional basketball teams joined together to found the NBA. In that same year, the Black-owned Harlem Wren submitted an application to join the NBA and were denied because of race. Today, there are 30 NBA teams and 29 are majority white-owned, while only one is majority Black-owned by Michael Jordan of the Charlotte Bobcats. Silver mentioned other Black who are owners, but they own an extremely small percentage and lack any real power. They are not majority.
Now pay close attention. Adam Silver, who is one of the racist ringleaders of the NBA as a commissioner, played a major part even back then. And he had the power to ban Sterling for life and fine him $2.5 million just for standing up and speaking out against the racism that was going on in the NBA. And now if you look and pay attention closely, the same Adam Silver is crucifying our beloved brother Kyrie Irving just for speaking up on his identity. So that there was just a little history. That just was history back for the 1990s. But now I'm going to speed y'all up to when LeBron James was ridiculed as well for speaking out against Donald Trump and the racism that was going on in America. And the news reporter told him to shut up and dribble. Check
I'm
this
numb
out.
to this commentary. Like, must they run their mouths like that? Unfortunately, a lot of kids and some adults take these ignorant comments seriously. Look, there might be a cautionary lesson in LeBron for kids. This is what happens when you attempt to leave high school a year early to join the NBA. And it's always unwise to seek political advice from someone who gets paid $100 million a year to bounce a ball. Oh, and LeBron and Kevin, you're great players, but no one voted for you. Millions elected Trump to be their coach. So keep the political commentary to yourself, or as someone once said, shut up and dribble.
So as you just see, you got this racist white Karen sits up here on live television and make these racist remarks towards LeBron James, basically calling him dumb because he went to the NBA from high school. And then she turns around and says, shut up and dribble. Brothers and sisters, it's time for you to wake up. Just because you are making hundreds of millions of dollars as she threw in his face does not make you wise. And also, this just continues to show that you are on a plantation and how these people look at you. They look at you as sport. And we're going to get into that later. They say your only job here is just to entertain them. And that's it. So now we're about to go into Kyrie Irving recent interview of them hounding him and trying to force him to apologize for something he did not say and something he did not do. Pay attention.
Are you sorry for the hurt that your post caused people?
I take my responsibility for posting that. Some things that were questionable in there, untrue. Like I said, and the first time you guys asked me when I was sitting on that stage, I don't believe everything that everybody posts. It's a documentary. So I take my responsibility.
It seems like Adam Silver wanted to hear the word "I apologize," or in your mind, you said, "I didn't mean to cause any harm." Were you apologizing, or did you not?
I didn't mean to cause any harm. I'm not the one that made the documentary.
What are the specific things in the documentary that you don't believe are true and that you don't believe represent your morals?
I think some of the criticism of the Jewish faith in the community, for sure. Some points made in there that were unfortunate.
Kyrie, are you surprised that you did hurt people?
Surprised that I did hurt people?
Are you surprised that reaction and some of the things that you did hurt people?
Yeah, I think I can ask a better question. It's just, where were you when I was a kid, figuring out that 300 million of my ancestors are buried in America? Where were you guys asking those same questions when I was a kid learning about the traumatic events of my familial history and what I'm proud to come from and why I'm proud to stand here and why when I repeat myself that I'm not going to stand down, it has nothing to do with dismissing any other race or group of people. I'm just proud of my heritage and what we've been through, and the fact that this has pinned me against the Jewish community. And I'm here answering questions of whether or not I'm sorry or not on something I didn't create. And it was something I shared, and I'm telling everybody I'm taking responsibility, then that's where I sit. So, these same questions that you guys ask, me dealing with it as being a melanated, pigmented person all around the world and dealing with racial biases against my skin color, demeaning me because of my religious beliefs, and I'm still sitting in the seat standing. So I take my full responsibility. Again, I'll repeat it, for posting something on my Instagram or Twitter that may have had some unfortunate falsehoods in it. but I also am a human being that's 30 years old, and I've been growing up in a country that's told me that I wasn't worth anything, and I came from a slave class, and I come from a people that are meant to be treated the way we get treated every day. So I'm not here to compare anyone's atrocities or tragic events that their families have dealt with generations of time. I'm just here to continue to expose things that our world continues to put in darkness. I'm a light. I'm a beacon of light. That's what I'm here to do. You guys ask me questions about basketball, I give you my expert opinion. You guys ask me about other things, I give you my opinion, and it's met with whatever you believe the perception or the deception is. You guys investigate my life every day, and you justify it by serving your own purpose, which I honor. I would like the same respect in return. Figuring out just like anyone else. So please keep that same energy when we're talking about anti-other things. Because just because I post a documentary doesn't mean I'm anti-Semitic. And doesn't mean that I'm automatically standing with everyone that is believing in it. So it's unfortunate timing that we're in, but I'm glad that I could stand on the truth because I'm not afraid of these mics, these cameras. I used to be looking everyone in the eye and telling them the truth. And I'm proud of who I am. Any label that you put on me, I'm able to dismiss because I study. I know the Oxford Dictionary, you look it up, right? It's one of the biggest mistakes I had in being a kid was not knowing European or Western language until I started looking it up and understanding the definitions and why they say, if you want to trick a black person, put it in a book. I was wondering my whole life why they said that. Now I'm 30 years old and I know reading is a superpower because it helps me understand where I'm going and where I come from. Like a tree with roots.
Kyrie, the documentary listed among falsehoods, it said the Holocaust didn't happen. Do you believe the Holocaust
those falsehoods
happened?
are unfortunate. And it's not that I don't believe in the Holocaust. I never said that. Never, ever have said it. It's not come out of my mouth. I never tweeted it. Never liked anything like it. So, the Holocaust in itself is an event that means something to a large group of people that suffered something that could have been avoided. No one said we had to practice racism. No one said we had to treat each other like garbage. No one said that I had to stand here today and understand that many people that come from generations 60 years ago, 40 years ago, enslaved some of my ancestors still, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, and it's still going on. And you guys are asking me, respectfully, to speak on something that was a documentary that I had nothing to do with. I didn't make it. So, just please keep that same energy when you guys are addressing me.
Kyrie, for the record, do you have any anti-Semitic beliefs?
Again, I'm gonna repeat. I don't know how the label becomes justified because you guys ask me the same questions over and over again. But this is not gonna turn into a spin around cycle, questions upon questions. I told you guys how I felt. I respect all walks of life and embrace all walks of life. That's where I sit.
I think what people want to hear though is just a yes or no on that question. Yes or no.
I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from.
I think what people want to hear though is just a yes or no on that question. Yes or no.
I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from. I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from.
So notice that the media tried everything in their power to try to force Kyrie Irving to apologize and to force Kyrie Irving to state that he was wrong for sharing the documentary and also throwing the anti-Semitic remarks at him. And Kyrie Irving told him that he can't be anti-Semitic if he know who he is. First off and foremost, for brothers and sisters who may not know, these white people are the Gentiles. They come from Japheth. And they do not stem from the lineage of Shem. So therefore, there is nothing Shemitic or Semitic about them at all whatsoever. These people are Gentiles, as the biblical scrolls in the scripture says. So Kyrie Irving, as he stated, I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know who I am. So basically, Kyrie Irving knows he is an Israelite. He knows his heritage. He knows where he stems from. So now as we continue to move forward after this interview, Adam Silver hounds him. And Adam Silver has a meeting with Kyrie Irving. And then after the meeting, Kyrie Irving gets suspended for 5 days. And notice, this Adam Silver guy is the same guy who banned Sterling forever. Banned him forever and fined him $2.5 million. And now you have Adam Silver hounding Kyrie Irving and crucifying Kyrie Irving as well. So notice after the meeting that Kyrie Irving had with Adam Silver, he ended up being suspended 5 days. And also, hours afterwards, he went on social media on his Instagram page and issued an apology to the entire Jewish community. Check this out. It says, a week after promoting a film filled with anti-Semitic tropes on his social media accounts, Brooklyn Nets Kyrie Irving apologized for his actions late Thursday night following days of calls for him to apologize and fully disavow the film's contents. Irving, 30, promoted Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America, a film that is filled with anti-Semitic views, on his Twitter and Instagram account on October 27th, and then spent much of last week refusing to acknowledge how hateful, divisive the content is. That changed late Thursday night when hours after receiving a suspension of at least 5 games without pay from the Brooklyn Nets, Irving issued a public apology on Instagram, which reads in full below. While doing research on Yahuwah, I posted a documentary that contained some false anti-Semitic statements, narratives, and language that were untrue and offensive to the Jewish race, religion, and I take full accountability and responsibility for my actions. I am grateful to have a big platform to share knowledge, and I want to move forward by having an open dialogue to learn more and grow from this. To all Jewish families and communities that are hurt and affected from my post, I am deeply sorry to have caused you pain, and I apologize. I initially reacted out of emotion to being unjustly labeled anti-Semitic instead of focusing on healing process of my Jewish brothers and sisters that were hurt from the hateful remarks made in the documentary. I want to clarify any confusion on where I stand fighting against anti-Semitism by apologizing for posting a documentary without context and factual explanation outlining the specific beliefs in the documentary I agree with and disagreed with. I had no intentions to disrespect any Jewish cultural history regarding the Holocaust or perpetuate any hate. I am learning from this unfortunate event and hope we can find understanding between us all. I am no different than any other human being. I am a seeker of truth. So after Kyrie Irving apologized, now the entire media is ridiculing him, making fun of him, making a mockery out of him. And that is your definition of sport, as you see. And I want everybody to see and remember this, that our beloved brother Kyrie Irving is being crucified just like the Messiah did when he walked the earth, because he's standing up for the truth and speaking the truth, which shows you that there is power in knowledge, and that knowledge is power. We're going to read this scripture real quick. Let's read the scripture. The book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 22. Blessed are you when men shall hate you, and when they shall cut you off, and shall reproach you, and cast out your name as wicked for the sake of the Son of Man. So as you see, Kyrie Irving's faith was being tested, but only if he knew that he was on the right path. Because when you're on the right path and you speak the truth, that is when people shall hate you, and they shall cast your name out as evil, like they was casting his name out as being anti-Semitic. Remember Job, when his faith was being tested? And Job was a rich man, and Job lost everything. But even though he was being tested and lost everything, he never lost his faith in the Creator. And then Job received doubled because he endured until the end, and he did not put money before the Creator. See, with this devil, Adam Silver, he knows that majority of the basketball players, the majority of our brothers and sisters who reside in the sports or the entertainment plantation field, he knows that their God is money and they serve and worship money. So he used the money tactic to get them to fold every single time. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Let's read the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. Check this out. The book of 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. The love of money causes all kinds of trouble. Some people want money so much they have given up their faith and have caused themselves a lot of pain. So take note, if our beloved brother Kyrie Irving wasn't in love with the money, he would have never issued a public apology to the Jewish community for something he did not do. The solution to all of this madness, the solution to being a slave on the plantation, on the entertainment field, is self-determination. My brothers and sisters, self-determination is the only way to freedom. Because whenever you sign a contract, you are allowing them to be the middleman. You will never be free because you're giving them jurisdiction and power over you. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Hotep. Peace and blessings.